On this week's edition, we'll tell you about a very interesting series of programs that are planned to mark the 160th anniversary of the Battle of Fredericksburg. On this week's edition, I'm standing outside Chatham, which is the local headquarters for the Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania National Military Park. And I'm with Dr. Rebecca Toy with the Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania National Military Park. And we asked Dr. Toy to tell us about a very special weekend of events coming up starting this Friday, December 9th to the 13th, to commemorate the 160th anniversary of the Battle of Fredericksburg. So, Dr. Toy, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So Chatham, this is the local headquarters. Talk a little bit about a little bit of the history of Chatham first.
Sure. So Chatham is originally a slave plantation that actually dates from before the Civil War. It was built in the 18th century by a man named William Fitzhugh. So if you visit Chatham today, what you see on the outside is actually a landscape that dates from the 20th century. Had you been here when Chatham was originally constructed, you would have encountered a plantation that was hundreds of acres, a working plantation that at its height enslaved up to 100 people. And it remained a large functioning plantation up through the Civil War.
It's a great place to visit throughout the year, and you can see this beautiful backdrop of the city of Fredericksburg. But this weekend you've got some extra special events. So tell us about what's planned this upcoming weekend.
Sure. So the Battle of Fredericksburg occurred in December of 1862. So this year marks the 160th anniversary of that battle. This battle in particular is remembered for being one of the most lopsided Confederate victories of the Civil War. There's a lot of things that contribute to the outcomes here at Fredericksburg, and we're hoping to spend the bulk of the anniversary kind of reconsidering some of the, you might say, myths, you might say common misconceptions about the Battle of Fredericksburg, and really delving deep into why it's remembered the way it is, and also why it's still significant despite having been such a lopsided Union defeat.
And it looks like the events are planned kind of some here and some different places throughout the area.
Yeah, so we're especially excited about our first kind of sort of kickoff event, which will occur at the library in downtown Fredericksburg. That event will really think about the context of the battle, what's happening in 1862. In particular, the Battle of Fredericksburg is significant because the Emancipation Proclamation took effect on January 1st, 1863, immediately following the Battle of Fredericksburg. But there's a lot happening in the war contributing to the Emancipation Proclamation's release, and we're going to spend some time talking about that. So for example, here in Fredericksburg, long before the federal government invited enslaved people to flee into U.S. lines, enslaved people saw the opportunity that the war presented and actually ran to freedom themselves. And their presence within Union lines really forced the federal government to respond and start making policies that acknowledged what was happening on the ground. So even in the summer of 1862, while the U.S. Army occupied the city of Fredericksburg, more than 10,000 enslaved people crossed the Rappahannock River here at Chatham and elsewhere. So we're going to talk about their stories. We're really excited because we recently met a woman named Molly Lucas Green, whose ancestors actually fled to freedom across the Rappahannock River in August of 1862, and her family has handed that story down. So she's going to share it at that event on Friday at the library. And then over the weekend, we'll have a variety of events that happening here at Chatham, exploring things like medical care during the Battle of Fredericksburg, the stories of well-known people like Clara Barton and Walt Whitman, who were here at Chatham during and immediately after the battle, and also some lesser-known figures who were sort of equally significant but not as well-known. And then we will have some events downtown. So a lot of people know one of our sort of banner events, which had been the Irish Brigade Walk. And in an effort to explore more stories and sort of expand the representations that we have in the stories we tell, we're actually going to follow in the footsteps of the 7th West Virginia rather than the Irish Brigade. And the 7th West Virginia are sort of fascinating because they are a southern unit. They're from what's originally Virginia, but they choose to side with the United States and join the U.S. Army. So we're going to explore their stories and also their experience here at Fredericksburg. We'll also have events on the southern end of the battlefield down at Prospect Hill along Lee Drive. And of course, we'll have events on December 13th on the battlefield as well, more like extended walking tours on those days, since that falls on a Tuesday.
Yeah. And everything's free, right?
Everything is free. Everything is family friendly. You don't have to sign up in advance, but you can get more information about the more detailed schedule on our website, which is www.mps.gov/FRSP.
Great. Well, it sounds like a really wonderful weekend of events, and you know, this is a major driver of tourism to the city of Fredericksburg, is everything that you all do. So we so appreciate everything that you do to bring people here and do such a great job telling the story of our past.
Thank you.
So we look forward to the weekend, and encourage people to come check it out and go to the website for more detail and come participate in the events.
Yes, we would love to have you.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the city's support too.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to do what we can. So Dr. Toy, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to a great weekend.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hope to see you there.
So that'll do it for this week's edition. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Fred Focus newsletter. Be sure to check us out on fxbg.com and all our social media feeds, and we'll keep you up to date on all the great things happening in the city of Fredericksburg. See you next week.